Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me again today. More card making for you today, and I'm using a combination of prompts to make the cards I'm making today. This is all for a little Instagram hop, so if you pop along to the description of this video and go across to the blog, there'll be some links to other people's Instagram handles, and you can do an Insta hop that way. So the theme really is to do so there's sort of 5 categories. It's horizontal card, using in colours, doing some colouring with the sympathy theme, and pearls. Okay, so those are the 5 things. So all the colours that I've used in this card are current in colours. We've got Pebbled Path, which is the one that's carried through, and then we've got the new, this one happens to be Summer Splash, but you can see I've done all 5. Okay, lovely Sympathy sentiment with these blooms, which I've used Stampin' Blends on to colour, and I've also coloured the pearls to coordinate as well. All right, so that's the 5 categories. Products are this suite actually. So well, I'll say it's a suite. I don't have all the elements in the suite, but you can buy both of these together as a suite of products with some matching paper and bits and bobs. Okay, and these will be available from the 1st of May. So we've got Unbounded Love and the Flowers of Beauty bundles. So loads of sentiments with coordinating sort of frames and tag die things. Then we've got these beautiful florals, also with coordinating dies. I've used both of them before. These are available on the pre-order for demonstrators. So I'm really loving these 2 sets. They go together really brilliantly, as just shown. And that die, so that die with those leaves, you see, so that's from this sentiment set, but it really does coordinate beautifully with the imagery of the other set. So there we go, that's those. And then I've been itching to use Leaf Collection, a new background stamp, so that's in there too, to give some interest to that central panel as well. So here we go. So Summer Splash, all with Pebble Path, Pretty in Pink, Petunia Pop, Peach Pie, and Shy Shamrock. Okay, so all 5 of the new in colours there. And yeah, it's a sympathy card. So we've used the muted card base there, but that little pop of colour just to sort of bring some colour into what would be a sombre occasion. And some people really like that kind of thing. Obviously, you know, you would be making these cards for a particular recipient, so obviously respectful of what they might want there. Okay, and then the inside's just got I've just put a piece of white in there to write on. Okay, so there's those, all with current in colours. So we're going to kind of use the theme. Okay, and I'm going to switch out the grey for basic grey, but we are going to use in colour, in that we're going to use some wild wheat. Okay, that's going to be the combination that we're going to use. So I've already got the card base done, and that I've got a scrap here for the sentiment and a scrap for the flowers, and we're going to do the stamping in the basic grey. So this actually, yeah, we'll do this so that it dries. So the flowers, I'm just going to pop 1 each of these onto this scrap of card. Okay, so that ink can dry completely. And then this one is going to be for our sympathy sentiment. Okay, which we'll put slightly off to the left, so we've got room for all that all the detail in that die cut. Beautiful font on there. Okay, and then we can just grab In fact, actually, let's get everything, get all the dies in place. Actually, no, because I need to do the colouring. Or we can do the die cutting in a minute when I've done the colouring. So let's get that die in place and put it on the plate so that we can die cut it in a minute. Means then we're only using it once. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that on the plate over there. For the colouring then, we've got our outline, which is a water-based ink. Okay, which means it's not going to run when we use our stamping blends. Okay, so I'm going to use the wild wheat colour. Okay, so we've got a dark and a light blend, which is exactly what I've done with the other cards. All the colours have matching blends. Okay, for this, because I only want the colour to be subtle on the flowers, I'm going to use the light blend. And I'm just going to apply just a bit of colour to the centre portion of that flower, and then through the centres of this, and then in sort of the creases or the points where petals overlap each other. There's no real right and wrong to this. Just do what feels okay. It'll look just fine no matter what you choose to colour. So mine's ended up looking a bit like that. Okay, and then we're going to use a colourless blender, or whatever they call it, colour lifter is what they call it, and we're going to go over the edge of that and pull it out, which will soften that colour. So it's coloured, but it's super subtle. Okay. Again, going for this sort of, do you really want to be using bright colour with a card that's for sympathy? So again, it's about knowing who you're giving it to. Okay. Won't be everyone's cup of tea. Just like any card, I guess. So we're just going over that just gently, and this will just make that ink move, and where that alcohol dampens the card, for want of a better word, even though it's not water, but you know what I mean, that colour will want to just sort of run, if you like, and diffuse out. And just soften that out. Okay, a bit like how, similar to watercolour, yeah? You've got a blob of colour, whatever it might be, and then once that paper starts to get wet, it will start to bleed out. It just does it in a bit more of a controlled way. Okay. And all that's done is just sort of softened those lines, okay? So the colour's there, but it's super soft. Right? Okay, and that'll take no time to properly dry. If it's gone through this to the back, that's exactly what it's supposed to do. Okay, no problem. Okay, now of course you can colour those a little bit more robustly if you want to, but I want to keep it nice and subtle. Okay. So here's the coordinating dies, nice and easy to line up. There's that sort of sticky out petal there, which acts as a mark for me. Anyway, that's how I've visualised it. And with this one as well, I've got this sort of pointy bit there, which is this point here. So that's going to line up there, and then you can just twizzle it until the rest of them sit nicely within that die, and then just use some low-tack tape to keep that in place. So we've got everything else, the other die for the sentiment on the plate. We'll just run that through. My machine's just set up to the right hand side here. It's a bit cumbersome to bring into camera, so we'll just hear that roll through. And back again. Okay. Oh, they've fallen out already. So there's one flower, two flowers, okay, and then that's ready to get sorted out. And then we've got this die, just got a little bit of, it might have a little bit of poking out to do, which is fine. Okay, so we don't need that bit, that will go for scrap. We need this bit, and then we've got this bit as well. So I'll be totally honest, when I first die cut it, I went, oh, the centre bit comes out. Which is, and then I had to sort of think about what I was going to do next. So rather than die cutting again, like in the matching cardstock, so in this case wild wheat, I thought, you know what, let's not make it go to waste. We can use that colouring theme and colour the die cut. Okay, so just a bit of poking out of these little bits of leaf. It's very easy to do. Okay, and if you've got one of those die brush things, you can use one of those. Just going to bring in some scrap paper just to protect the work surface a little bit, and then I'm going to pull in the dark marker this time. Okay, and I'm going to, I'll be a bit less, use that to colour this die cut. Okay, so basically you're not wasting product. If you've got a scrap of cardstock and you want to use it and you've got something, that's great, but this is another alternative if you want to just make use of what you've got there. Okay, rather than leaving it to one side. You could use it for another project, I guess, but I think the reality is that these things tend to either sit on the desk forever. Ooh, oops, a daisy. Oh my goodness. Throwing this around. I just misjudged the pressure there. That was totally weird. Okay, let me just pop that up. So that's stuff that was supposed to be protecting my surface. I've now got a blob of alcohol on my desk, but I'll get that up properly in a bit. Some, what do you call it, hand gel stuff. We'll get it off. Okay. Scared the life out of me, that did. Okay, right. So we're going to have to just pop that to one side just for a second. Okay, and for the centre portion we need to do a bit of stamping on this. Okay, now you'll notice that I am utilising a scrap here. Okay, no one's ever going to know that that's there once we've layered this up. Okay, so the wild wheat piece is 4 inches wide by 2 3/4, so I've made this basic grey piece 3 7/8 of an inch by 2 5/8. Okay, just that little hint of a border, okay, which kind of similar to the die cut there. Okay, but we want to stamp onto this with that lovely background stamp. So you can use the background stamps as they are. You can put it on the flat of your desk and then ink it up. But I have a stamp position tool, so I'm going to use it. But that's totally optional. It's just my preferred way of doing this. Okay, and I'm just going to ink up the middle of this. We do have the large block as well that you can use. That's just the basic grey ink, just tone on tone stamping that we're going to do, and we just want to give that some firm pressure. So there are other stamp position tools available, just use whatever method you prefer. Okay, so that's going to stick to the stamp, but with some trusty tweezers we can just lift that off and we can get our nice tone on tone stamp in there. I forgot I zoomed you in, so let's just bring you back out again. Okay, so that's going to be drying just for a sec while we just do a quick clean up of that. In fact, actually I'll clean it up in a bit, it's fine, it's not going to go anywhere. Just some water is going to get that off. Okay, so this is our little panel that we can stick down onto our wild wheat element. So just going to use some Stampin' Seal for that. And just layer that up. Okay, so it's just peeking through this lovely wild wheat colour. I like wild wheat now. It's very much a Marmite colour. Love it or hate it. But I think it looks nice as sort of a faux gold element. Okay, and then this is going to go on to the card base. So again, we'll put plenty of seal on that. Then we'll have it that way up. And it's not it's uneven in terms of there's a thicker border left and right, but just get it as central as you can. And while we're at it, we'll just pop in a little insert. This is one of the what I call my mini layers, which is 3 by 4 3/4. So we'll just pop that into the middle. So there's a space to write on because it's a dark card. Okay. Next thing we want to do, just notice there's a little spot on the tip of that leaf that hasn't quite caught some colour, so we'll just add that on. Very easy to do. Okay, and with this little skinny die, so what we could have done was die cut it with some sticky sheets, but I forget every time, and if I'm honest, every time I've used it I found it a little bit of a faff, so you know, but again, each to their own. If you have got sticky sheets and you want to use them, go ahead, but I'm happy just doing it with just a few specks of glue. Okay, it does sort of appear at the edges a little bit, but it's going to get covered up with other elements, so I'm not going to be too fussy about it. I'm trying to keep the edge here and the bottom sort of the same, which means it ends up roughly centered, and just let it drop down. Don't try and fuss about with it too much because you might shape the frame a little bit. Okay, and you may want to just pop like a block on there or two just to weigh that down while you prepare other things. This middle section now, I'm going to actually pop some dimensionals on it, which means you know, we just got that little bit of rise on that when we go to put this together. And for our flowers, I'm going to do a little bit of a shaping to this. Now, I have one of these large ball tools. Those of you who follow me a lot know that I use this tool to shape flowers, but you can use the end of a pen, scissors of your handle of your scissors, that's what I should have said, goodness me, something anyway that will just bend that cardstock into sort of like almost like a cup, if you like. Do it on the back, flip it over, and then just sort of press into the centre, and the natural fibres will make it crease in whatever fashion it wants, and you'll end up with a little bit of more movement on your flowers. So we'll just leave those upside down because we need to put blobs of glue on them. And while we're doing that, I'm just going to rescue the little just got the last few pearls in a packet here. And we'll go back to this Stampin' Blend markers, and we'll just use this to just add just a bit of colour to these. Depending on what colour you're using, this has mixed results. This is quite light, to be fair. You might want to go over it a couple of times. Sometimes the bullet tip works better. Nope, not in this case. Okay, it's super subtle, but they are slightly now more of a yellowish tone. Okay, so they'll be nice and dry by the time we come to use those. So that should be in place enough now for us to be able to manipulate this and do the rest of the card. So we'll just take the backings off this piece and just pop it back in like a jigsaw, like so. We'll just use a nice bead of glue on the back of these to tuck that in. So obviously the stamens are going to give you an idea of which way up that needs to be, and because we lifted that up on the dimensional, that can slot underneath. Then this can go over the top, so it gives it that movement. Looks really, really pretty. And then we can just add our little colour coordinated gems. You could probably get away with just using the gold pearls for this one. But you know, I wanted to carry on that theme and the coordination throughout the card. Oops. I've been terribly clumsy this weekend. I have literally cried over spilt milk this weekend. It's just been one of them. Right. Okay, so and that's just missed there as well. That's the finished card. Okay, so where did I put the others? There they are. So this was for how it all started with the current in colours, and I've just sort of swapped that out a bit. So the basic grey is a cooler colour, okay, as in shade wise, whereas the Pebble Path is a warmer grey. But both work really, really well to create these sympathy cards. We don't like to make them, but you know, we have to sometimes. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that. It's giving you some ideas. Please do give me some thumbs up. It really helps to boost the visibility of the channel. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. I'll link to what is available currently in the description, but the new colours and the new bundles and stuff won't be available to the 1st of May, so just look out for stuff on my channel, my blog, my Instagram, all that kind of stuff for things and announcements and stuff. It's going to be a fab joining offer in the 1st of May as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Okay, that's it from me. Don't forget to check out the Instagram hop and see what everyone else has done with these, with this theme. Okay, thanks ever so much, everybody. Hope you're staying safe. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.